have a gift for you all, and that is the gift of StarCraft. As we kickstart our first series of the day, to the top left-hand side is our Blue Terran player from OSC Elite. Give it up if you're cheering on souL. To the top left of Ascension to Aya. To the bottom right-hand side, the red Protoss player from Psystorm Gaming. It's Strange. So this is just a best of 3 to get things started here today. The overall plan is to do something along the lines of about 2 best of 3s and then 4 best of 5s and a best of 7, I think. We'll see. Obviously, we do have a commitment to the WardiTV Invitational number 2, so we have to cast that in about 6 hours. So if this tournament is wrapped up by then, perfect. We can go straight into it. If it's still ongoing, we'll make a judgment call, but the most likely scenario is that we probably have to leave this tournament at some point to go and cast the Invitational, because obviously that's my event and that's what we're most dedicated to today. So hopefully we'll be finished up with this event in 6 hours time. If not, we'll see how it goes. If there's like 1 or 2 maps left, we can probably convince the players in the Invitational to wait. But obviously we don't want to cause any big issues or anything like that, and so we should be all good, I guess, to just swap over. So just a little bit of a heads up, but we're a few hours away from that right now. We've got 6 hours of StarCraft ahead of us until we worry about all of that. As we do see the early probe scout here just coming across, and we'll identify a single gas, which is pretty much good enough information right now to assume it's going to be an expansion. Very few build orders go off of 1 base and 1 gas because, well, you just reach 400 minerals so quickly that what else are you going to throw down other than the command center? And even if you throw down extra racks, well, 1 gas then doesn't support what you would like to do, because what you're going to be doing, like building 1 Reaper at a time and 2 Marines, that doesn't really make sense. So even if it's multiple racks, the second gas is generally there to then produce multiple Reapers. Or if it's multiple racks and only Marines, then why have you got gas at all? Well, maybe for the sickest mind game of the year, right? But it's kind of, it wouldn't really make sense, because a lot of the time this probe will stick around to see the natural, and obviously if it doesn't see the natural, it immediately figures out what is going on, and then it's just going to be able to respond to that nice and easily. River coming down the left-hand side. As you see, the Twilight Council from Strange will start up here in the main base. Natural expansion is going to be finishing up as well, and there's another couple probes on the way. We actually see souL does proxy the starport across the map, so starport coming down on the south side, and we're just going to be seeing this starting to come on into play. Obviously, this opens a lot of potential aggression for him. Already a reactive factory means that we are going to see the Hellion count rising up pretty quick. It's Strange, did he see this? Does he have some sort of idea? He's moving around in a way that I'm not sure if it actually sees. Okay, with this rally point, it should spot the starport coming up. Not in time to actually kind of stop it from building, though. But just the information there that the starport is there is still good info. You'll be able to get this SCV, which is not a massive issue. It gets picked off. Goodbye, SCV. Now you see a Dark Shrine being proxy top side, so that fast Twilight Council, not for what has been Blink, game in and game out lately. We've been seeing so much Blink play out of Protoss players. This is going to be for Dark Templar. The medevac is actually on the way out, probably just to very quickly drop the first 4 Hellions into the main base. You see these SCVs continue to move along as we see Hellions again from souL just joining up together. Dark Shrine is going to be about halfway along, and obviously just put down another pylon to get those DTs in a little bit faster, as the initial medevac is empty, but it's a full wall off at the front, and so the mind game from souL has not worked at all. The empty medevac is pushed away, and the Hellions do not find an access into the natural. I actually love this, because actually if you look at it, you're thinking about it, it's a kind of clever idea. Fake the Hellions into the main base to pull the Stalkers away, and then run them into the natural. But this didn't do any damage at all, and so far souL is just losing so much. Does he have any way to deal with this? Well, actually, maybe now he gets some kills here. He's going to be seeing, oh, just needs to get that Hellion. He does. How much was that? 2 workers? Not really enough. And again, DTs are ready to be warped in. And where's the detection out of souL? Well, he does have energy available for 1 scan. But with 2 DTs, obviously that becomes a big issue already. And from that, you'll see even more DTs probably coming on through. As you're going to see, that tank is just going to be coming up on the natural. So first DT going to move through, going to pop up in towards... Oh, he can't actually get up there. Okay, now he gets to the ramp. It's going to get scanned. The depot raises. Second DTs are really in the back and will be able to kind of hide away. That's a big deal because now it means the turret should come up on the main base at least without any issue. Or you just keep the kind of ramp up, right? Or the wall up. And souL gets away with this here because of those few Marines just being able to block that DT. That was so unlucky for Strange, I feel, because I don't feel this is like intentional by souL. I think it's just a very unfortunate moment where the Marines just happened to block that area. I actually see Vikings have come out here from souL now. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if he just wants to push away, kind of, you know. I actually really do just wonder, honestly. Is he going to just drop these Vikings? Really? I mean, that's what it looks like, right? Empty medevac coming down to 2 Vikings, and he's actually going to lift up 2 Vikings and drop them in the main base. Well, that's kind of interesting, as we do see these Stalkers going to continue going up towards the upper left. They want to try and see what else is happening. Another Stalker coming forwards here. Stimpack and the +1 attack upgrade from souL, both on the way right now. And there are 2 Vikings into the main, and they're going to start doing some damage. I mean, this is such a weird follow-up from what this opening was, as now these Vikings are going huge. I mean, that's like 10 workers they just picked off here. And Blink in is going to get the medevac kill. The Vikings, I guess, may just give themselves up. I mean, they're going to go down pretty quick anyway. We will get... Whoa! He doesn't even get a Stalker kill. And that will be pretty much it, as we see 1-1 upgrades coming up here from Strange. The charge upgrade coming through as well. Sentry also being added on. And a couple of extra gates coming into play too. The engineering bay about halfway done now with the +1 attack upgrade. And it's going to be seeing that third CC of souL continuing to build on up down on the low ground. Combat shields coming up on the main base. You're going to see the factory starting to build a reactor to the starport next to it, because this starport doesn't seem to think it can get home with so many Stalkers out on the map. And so, you know, to be fair, he might not be too wrong, as these Stalkers coming through the center towards the upper left. There's a lot of them. If you try to fly this home, the starport probably would be found. Right now, there are multiple tanks. And with those tanks, it's going to be enough to push these Stalkers back. They've already blinked once, which means the Stim of the Bio will pick up a kill. Strange will come back in, though. A couple of those tanks are very far back, and so generally, you might be able to pick away at the third base if they didn't reposition, but they have now started to reposition. As you also see a medevac over to the right-hand side, so still going to continue to apply some pressure here. Probes already mining away on the third base. And we do see 2 medevacs on the way up from souL down to this south side as well. And here we go. 8 Marines going to stim on in. And already there's going to be a bunch of probes going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. And he's going to get his pylon as well, which means he's... Oh, I actually love it. You know, he could have got the pylon and cancelled these units from warping in, but he actually just attacks them instead. He'll get the pylon eventually anyways, and he's actually going to be close off the target fire on the warping in units. He grabs 2 Stalkers with this, rather than just cancelling those and allowing the Protoss player to get the money back for the 2 Stalkers that were warping in. So that's actually a pretty nice little play, a good decision. You know, obviously the temptation is there to sort of just kill the pylon, cancel the warp in so you can stick around. But obviously souL sort of fought past that and said, well, you know, you're probably on the map with other units as well. You're probably not relying just on this warp in. And so sooner rather than later, I probably am going to have to do something to, you know, sooner rather than later, you're probably going to have units here to clean me up. And so may as well just kill the Stalkers. And, you know, he's not going to, like, do much else other than kill the Nexus, right? Like, he's not going to kill the Nexus with only 8 Marines, so... He's going to be seeing this pylon coming up, as we do see a lot of units from souL now gathering together. They're going to be going to the right-hand side, so they're going to be pushing on down in towards this third base. The rest of the units now gathering together from Strange. He has charge, he has 1-1, so he does have an upgrade lead. He's soon to have 2-2, but obviously that's not just yet, and so souL is able to fight this early. Nice force field, he'll grab some units, but souL is able to lift up with the force fields. However, with the 2 Immortals mixed into this, souL is going to be losing these tanks very quickly, and Stalkers blinking forward will get rid of every single medevac. The Immortals did their job against those units as well, against those tanks, and that's going to be the Marauders and Marines going down as well, as a blink will chase them down. souL loses a lot here, an attack which isn't really powerful enough to do a lot. That'll be that for now, as we see this Bio coming back in towards the center, and looking to see what's next. What's up, Dane543, coming in with the 2-month resub. Thank you very much for the 2 months. I got some Wardy hearts in the chat. How are you doing? Thank you for the 2 months. Always great to see a 2-month resub. Always nice to see you going to continue your love, and you weren't just feeling impulsive on the day. Thank you so much. See love in the chat, and thank you for the support. Protoss player moves to the middle of the map. souL pulls back a little bit here, going into a Ghost Academy. 2-2 now finished with the Protoss player, and so this is now 2-2 against soon to be 1-1. And if Strange started pretty free already, he'd be getting such a lead as Widowmines here initially. Will burrow, and will actually get a few probes. DTs though lifted up, and that's the full medevac, which is already low. Okay, there's no way either of them get out of here. souL loses a lot, and I guess I thought it was actually more probes that they killed, but I think it was only 3 or 4 with the Widowmine. It's a good shutdown from Strange, who at the moment continues to look pretty freaking good here in game number 1. More units of Strange coming up in towards the top left side. You're going to see a couple of Archons on the way up as well. There is that Ghost just over halfway done. Mobius Reactor still on the way up as well in this Ghost Academy. And 4 medevacs at a time currently on the way out. I mean, to be fair, he's lost a bunch of medevacs. And it's not a bad thing to have a double star power at this stage, able to respond to Colossus tech quickly, reproduce medevacs quickly. And that's actually a lot you can do with it, as we're going to be seeing while souL here going to really rely on the little choke point he's created for himself with that supply depot. And force field's coming down, but it's still difficult to attack in. Again, the real issue right now is he just doesn't have the medevacs to heal up a lot of these units, so we do see SCVs having to pull away. Third base will lift. 4 more medevacs now arriving and enabling a secondary stim here to keep on fighting this. SCVs will continue to go down though. There's some Zaz that charge through ahead of the rest. A scan to get the DTs. An Archon ahead of the army as well, and the MP doesn't really connect on much at all. He actually loses the 3rd command center. Well, lucky for him, a new CC about to finish to the left, but there is still already a 4th base coming up over here, although Widowmines have just gone off, and they have been dealing some damage too. 4 kills on 1, about 7, 8 kills in total. Not too many in all said and done. As now we are going to be seeing 4 medevacs lifting up and coming through the top side to continue harassing around. A few units didn't manage to quite get into a medevac just there, and well, souL still in the 3 bases, but against the 4 bases of the Protoss, he's not going to have the easiest of times here. He has to be a little bit cautious as pushing forwards. We're going to be seeing this Stalker Archon force. And I guess a couple more walls mixed in as well. I guess the Warpism will Warp Zealots to kind of reinforce this. Well, there's the triple drop to the top right side, so souL will catch the Protoss play out of position. This is going to be punishing him by killing the 4th base. A couple of Zealots warping in will not really be enough on their own, and that's actually going to be DTs warping in very slowly. He's going to get the pylon to cancel that warp in. That's just a lift up and a leave, although the Stalkers nearby will blink with a few of them. And I think he's going to get away with all 4. Is there one more blink in a second? There is, but he doesn't have high ground vision, I don't think. And I think just about souL is safe up here. The scan will see the army backing away, so now he knows he can boost up and back home with those units. So denies the 4th base, that's a big pick off, obviously because he's only on 3 bases of his own. So continuing to limit this. As we do see Stalkers, Sentries, Immortals and Archons pushing across the map. Strange getting ready to go on in towards this army. There's a few Ghosts up here as well, looking to see what they can do in the next few moments. And it's all the way over to the left side as there's a little bit of bio going to stem on forwards and look to hit this probe line, which is currently just long distance mining. And there's a blink forwards, and already this OC is going to be in trouble. There's not even an attempt to repair it initially. Now it gets repaired, but I think it's just too late. He's going to start going down, and it does fall just as the bio arrives. Those Immortals in the front, though, that's not really how it's going to be. The Archons disappear with the EMPs, and that's going to be souL crushing this army. I mean, the Archons just go... They go into the nether, basically. I mean, they really disappeared. Zealot's in the main base, though, and so souL has other issues and other things to have to deal with at the moment than just focus on pushing across the map. 3-3 so late here for the Protoss. This could have been finished and been done against the 2-2 of the Terran player, but not having that in play is, well, just a little bit sloppy, you know. It just kind of allow the Terran to maybe survive this attack and do it well, where maybe he wouldn't have otherwise. There was other issues with that fight, though. I mean, having the Archons, the Immortals in the front were obviously massive issues. As souL is still bleeding off a lot of SCVs over here, pushing across. There's not a lot of army at home for the Protoss player, though, so he's going to start losing quite a bit as souL will just push straight on into this, and we are going to enter a little bit of a base trade scenario. And I love it, killing off the missile turret because DTs are available, remember, and it's not like you can shut down the Dark Shrine easily because it's still on the top right hand side, something which souL did see, but which he's never picked up. Not sure why he's standing on top of this army here at the moment. Liberating the main base, obviously not going to do too much either. It goes down pretty swiftly. And souL can, of course, hope to perhaps force a draw. I think that's what he's got to hope for here. There is DTs on the map, but can he protect the Nexus? He needs to kill, well, I guess Strange has probes and minerals enough to build a new Nexus, so it's not the end of the world already. Strange, he's very good at these base trade scenarios if he wants to be. I mean, never forget the match on Invader against Pult in the WCS Spring Championship 2016, where he well, had the craziest base trade at all time that maybe he should have just won, but didn't manage to quite in the end. And this goes this Nexus, but probes have gotten away. There is again minerals to build up a new Nexus, and I guess one of the interesting things about souL's army and having the Ghost is that he doesn't need the orbital to detect the DTs. And that's one way he can still win this, because at the very least right now, he still has this orbital alive. As he tries to move in towards the main, I don't like it because the Storks are nearby. And I guess he's got barracks as well, and I guess his kind of plan is that... I don't know what his plan was here. I guess he just thought the units had left. Again, he's got EMPs, and EMPs will be good enough to detect the DTs if he hits them. Just needs to start shutting down these bits and pieces. So Nexus is building over here. So we can see the Stalker, Zards, DTs, picking off the supply depots. And again, a few barracks to the top side. Just floating around for now. There's a couple probes sitting all over the place. So souL doesn't know where this Nexus is, obviously. He sees it with these refineries. So he's going to be able to get this. I mean, that should just be a cancel. And obviously still a lot of buildings around the map here from souL. I'm surprised there wasn't a couple of units, like a medevac units, just left over here to slowly pick its way through these gates and so on. We're going to see souL actually does see this army. He actually has a scan available because the orbital did find a place to land. Gets the Observer, gets a couple of the DTs. I don't think Strange is going to have enough. I mean, you can blink around with those Stalkers, but not forever. And again, that orbital is landed. It dropped a Mule even. It's going to have another scan soon, but there's also still EMPs available. So right now, he can EMP these DTs, and they will work as well. And I think souL has just seen them. He's going to sim, and he does indeed know where they are. And there's the EMP. Goodbye, Dark Templar. That EMP revealing them there. And all of a sudden, the base trade is not as scary as it used to be. This orbital not burning down any longer is going to get back up to the top side, and, well, souL is currently revealing Strange. Strange has got a Nexus, so souL sees where all of the structures on the map are. He knows up here. He knows, obviously, down in the main base, the natural still. All he has to do now, I think he can force a draw. Obviously, it's not guaranteed because a Nexus can build. But I think the reality is he'll never give Strange enough time to build up everything he needs to actually shut down like this CC. And even if even if there is kind of Stalkers on the map, it will give souL a lot of time to hunt down the Nexus as well. Because there's so many barracks and a factory just around. That's why he doesn't put the factory just like the far top right, just because. Just again, more dead airspace. It just means the Stalkers are going to do less, right? Although right now these barracks keeping track of where the Stalkers are is not a bad thing either. Remember, Strange does have to build something with one of these probes. He's got probe up here as well, which he could use. As we're just going to see souL into the main, and again, slowly but surely going to pick these off, gets rid of this pylon that was powering the main base. Strange has to remember to build. I guess he's got the Dark Shrine and the pylon top right still, so that's still something he can utilize. Man, again, I've never really seen Ghost being such an important kind of addition to the army in this sort of way. It's actually kind of crazy because we've seen a lot of kind of PvT base trades lately, which the Pros players have started to win just because of the kind of Dark Templar really giving them a huge edge in the base trade scenario. So having the Ghost actually goes a long way to helping with that, obviously. So right now the Stalker's still hunting around. I mean, the CC in the main is actually going to go back to the main. I guess he wants to just drop a couple of scans around so you can just get some info as to where exactly are these units, right? Or where is that base? And he scans right on top of this Nexus. And actually, the issue is here from Strange. He's about to lose this DT Shrine and this pylon. So I don't know if he can justify cancelling the Nexus. Because if he does, he has to build something else very quickly here to the point where he's probably not going to in time. He had it queued up. You can see it on his minerals that he wanted to build it somewhere. I'm not sure where, but he's definitely queued it up because he should have more minerals than this. And see how this will go. See if Strange can pick up the second map and take us to a game 3 already here today. Start getting the series going nice and long. That's a long first game, to be fair. 20-minute series is nothing to be laughed at. As we do have to the top left, our blue Terran player from OSC Elite, it is souL. And at the bottom right hand side, the red Pros player from Sidestone Gaming is Strange. Again, a little bit of a mistake on the Nexus cancel, but at the same time, honestly, he was kind of dead, I think. I think it's very hard to find a draw in that situation. souL has floating buildings. He doesn't have to go and kill any other structures on the map. And so all he has to do is hunt down the Nexus. And every single time he finds it, he's going to be fine. It's not like there's an army of Strange to protect the Nexus either. So, as weird as it looked, as bad as it looked, I think it was just sort of, it just kind of sped up the inevitable, if in all honesty. Again, never great to kind of go out like that, right? But again, it could have been worse. It could have happened in a game that was winnable still, I think. And I definitely don't think that one truly was. Probe comes in towards the upper left-hand side. You can scout around and see what's going to happen. Barracks will finish up in a moment or so. The early game here, just going to be an expansion apiece, and that's exactly what Strange will identify with this initial probe. Second SCV from souL will pull down because he's actually sending this first one across the map to do some scouting of his own, and he'll throw that CC down. No delay, probe doesn't try to block it or anything, and he doesn't even go back in for the scout again. He's going to move it back up to the top right side, maybe something proxied here once again. Definitely a possibility. Always keep the probe around to go in and scout again later. I mean, there's a few different reasons for keeping it on the map. So I guess we shall see. Also going to be seeing the factory reactor on the way up. Refinery coming down here on the main base, and just seeing double gas early is obviously fairly expected once the factory is already on the way up, so you can afford the starport, whatever you want to build off the factory. And again, with the legacy of the void economy, something that we just see all the time now with the 12 workers, is that if you stay on one gas, it's very difficult to spend enough money to not be able to, you know, to basically not end up going 3 CC. So second gas is almost always taken. Apart from, I guess, if you go like racks into 2 more barracks, which is something someone like Clem likes to do quite a lot. We've seen some Clem games later on in the second event of the day, the WardiTV Invitational number 2 playoffs. So I'll be having a little bit later on to see this factory swaps onto the reactor. And this Reaper does pick up that probe, so we'll be happy with that. And I mean, he lost an SCV, but all good in the end. And the robo facility startup from Strange, obviously a bit different from that Twilight Council in the last game. I do feel as though obviously he could have gone into Twilight Council this game and kind of just gone for Blink, and obviously it would have been a little bit different, right? But in this case, it's going to be the Robo, which allows for fast Prism here. Obviously, you can get Observers up too if you need it, but not really much need for Observers early game anymore. So I wonder what this might be. I think what he might aim for, this is just once again, by the way, proxy the starports, the same build as last game from souL. I guess this might be just looking to counterattack here. You shut down the Hellion run by, you shut down the initial drop play, and once you shut that down, immediately counterattack with a chunk of Stalkers. And even if they don't have Blink, with the Warp Prism, you can kind of blink them around yourself, like manually. Not super easy, but it definitely can happen. And then from there, you can sort of obviously do some damage when there isn't really a lot of units out at all for souL across the map. However, there is going to be the Reaper moving forwards here, and there is going to be the Medevac with 4 Hellions inside going to go into the main base this time. The Stalker going to shut down the Reaper after it kills one probe. Strange picks up that kill, and there we go. Medevac's into the main. And maybe seeing the 4 Hellions will just get to work. Now what does Strange do? How does he approach this? Again, across the map there isn't really a lot. Tank on the way and a couple of Marines in the reactor. There's not a lot though, so you can afford to warp in over here and still do damage across, but god, is he taking so much damage to this worker line. So he has to get in here with these Stalkers. Like, he has to do some sort of eco damage himself, because right now he's down on 15 probes, and there's no way he can kind of justify this without killing a whole bunch of workers too. He's going to try and get this tech lab. Only 4 Stalkers. He has some Zealots to help out. I mean, the tank is still going to pop out though. That's going to be one of the issues, is we're going to see the tank even sieging up, the Stalkers jumping into that prism there. And, well, he could drop the Stalkers on top of the tank. I guess the issue is where do the SCVs go, and if they just surround the Stalkers, he's still in trouble. Fresh Mule will go down. The Liberator actually came home to help defend. That's another Stalker, but so far not enough. 11 workers down. He needs a heck of a lot more. Obviously double Mule available as well from souL. It feels as though he's just getting enough up to defend. A tank, a Cyclone, a couple of Marines. I mean, this War Prism shouldn't be much of an issue for too much longer here, moving forwards. You see those Stalkers dropping down once more, and SCVs being cleaned out. I'm just going to be seeing the Cyclone locking on. Liberator is attacking. The Prism's going low. Obviously the Cyclone can stay locked on almost forever here with the Liberator. Give it vision, although the Liberator will be targeted by the Stalkers. Oh my god, the Liberator stays alive and gets the last shot. It actually got out of range of the Cyclone. Oh, he's going to kill the Stalkers now too, of course, because they're stuck in the main. No blink on these, and Strange is really in a lot of trouble right now. He's trying to build a Warp Prism, probably to try and go once again. You're going to see the starport dropping down. And there is a third barracks just on the way up at the moment. Let's see, Medevac does get caught, so something at least going the way for Strange. Catching that. Doesn't get the kill, but pushes away. Did he build anything else off the starport? It was just the Liberator, and this time the starport will make an effort to get home. And it looks as though it's going to be able to. Again, there's a few stalkers on the map, but nowhere near as many as last time, without the blink as well. Just means you can't catch or find that starport as easily, just because he isn't on the map as early. Now this is interesting though once more, because for the second time it feels like there's no units at home for souL, but of course it also means there's barely any units at home for Strange. And this many Marines, a Cyclone, a tank to support from a distance, even the Liberator, all of it is just going to be a bit too much here. And there's not really going to be any true way to kind of defend this. I mean, what do you do? Throw down a force field? Okay, great. I mean, that's going to allow you to kind of buy like 10-15 seconds. He's going to recall home, so I guess it does buy him time for that, as the recall is just on the War Prison mode. It's only 3 more Stalkers, and well, with the Liberator here, again, this many Marines and the Siege Tank too, it's still going to be a lot of damage done, right? You're going to see the tank does target fire down the Stalkers. Stalkers are microing around here, but man, that Cyclone just putting out damage, and you can see souL has a little bit too much right now. He's on the natural, and we'll pick up the GG. souL takes the first series of the day 2-0.